Hello, everyone. It's Nicholas here, and here's the director's commentary for my short film Regret. Here in my opening sequence, I was really going back and forth of how I wanted to open the film. After doing my first edit, I realized I wish I had more time with my male actor because I probably would have shot a different opening sequence than you see here with him, including with my other actor, probably like in a vehicle together. I had some ideas, but uh, problem was is that my male actor was not available for reshoots and more film, so I had to go a different route. So the sequence here, I wish I could take credit for it, that I shot it, but I actually found this overhead sequence on a website that has free stock images and videos. I'll do a plug-in for the website, which is allthefreestock.com. I suggest you take a look, as everything has is free licensing, which is great. So I found this opening sequence, and I thought it looked really good and added it to my film. So that is what I chose. For my opening shot, I did some color correction as the scene was mostly overcast that day, so the sky was mostly blown out, but I made it work. Also, though, that this was a semi cold day, I also wanted to portray the scene as kind of being dreary and kind of set the mood for the film. So the color correction I messed with, and I darkened it up a little bit to give that, dreary kind of sense. Also, to note, I learned a valuable lesson actually while shooting this portion of the film as well, which is to pay attention to your surroundings. While I was following my actors from behind, I was so enveloped with the scene and making sure I had it right and I was framing everything right that I didn't pay attention to my footing. And I basically tripped off the curb and almost fell down flat on my face, which I'm glad I didn't because that probably would have been the end of my camera. But luckily I didn't. Also, it's good to have insurance on the equipment as well, like I do, just in case, the unfortunate happens. But luckily that didn't. And I learned a valuable lesson that I'll make sure that I pay attention from now on. For our next scene with our two actors, I had a lot of great discussion and feedback with them shooting this scene. After each scene, we kind of discussed and talked about how we did and how well they thought they did. And I, asked them for suggestions. So here, where we have our male actor letting out a heavy sigh before putting down the food, I originally had our female actor just looking straight ahead and not moving, basically not paying attention to him. But afterwards, she actually suggested to me that her character look at the actor, even though she knew how her character was basically dead. Um, to perceive, she did, she suggested that so that way it would perceive that she was actually still there and not give away the twist. Um, Also, doing after doing my first edit, I took some feedback from my fellow classmates and the professor and changed the scene up as well. I originally shot this with my male actor actually having some speaking lines here, but determined that it gave my twist away too early. So I took that out. There was also two I had in here that I kind of wanted to do a time lapse with him walking around the room. But after seeing it and trying to edit it and mess around, it really didn't work out how I wanted it to be. So I wound up just cutting that portion out, and so I came up, edited how you see here. Another thing too that was kind of difficult. No fault on the actor, but our male actor on some of these scenes when I was shooting, he would look directly into the camera, and he would be speaking his lines or just acting, and all of a sudden he would glance over and look directly at the camera. So we had to do a lot of reshoots, but after talking to him and telling him, hey, giving him a few tips of like, hey, just focus on a point in the room, to look at, so that way he's not trying to look and make sure that I say cut before he starts looking into start looking around the room. That really helped, trying to give some direction to him. So after that, we had no hiccups after that, which was great. For the bedroom scene, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to light the scene. I was kind of going back and forth. Do I do a night light? Do I have the lights on in the room? But I kind of wanted to seem that it was already night and they were about to get ready to go to sleep, or
Okay,
they,
just listen to me.
they were already
How
sleeping,
can you
but
have
just
just stayed
couldn't,
home?
they were awake. So
You
what I
weren't supposed
eventually
to
did
go.
was I took one of the photography lights that I own. I put a blue filter
Why
on
would you
it,
argue with me
and
over something so
this
small?
is what the end result looked like. And I think it turned out great and really added to the feel of the
Okay, I really
scene.
shouldn't have started that
I had
argument with you.
numerous comments,
Sorry for that. I'm sorry.
people and feedback saying that they really liked it. I'm glad that I
But I
did
really
this,
wish you
and
had
it
listened.
really look. I really think it looks great. Um, one thing I wanted to do with this scene is to make it seem like our female actor was still in the room with our male actor and act like he's actually talking to her. But with this was some challenges to make sure with the movement of him rolling over, um, and him, talking with his hands and just making sure. I had to make sure I had framed it right, so that way you didn't notice that she's not laying next to him, which was it was it was challenging, but wasn't in the greatest schemes. It wasn't that challenging, but I think I did a great job of trying to portray that.
Now,
Once our actor reveals that she's gone and we have our flashback to
you're
the
gone.
previous scenes, I think the music really helped with our big reveal. It took me a while to find this, which I think, turned out to be a very fitting soundtrack. I really think it brings out the sadness and the feels that I wanted the viewers to feel as we watch that. As we see that flashback of everything that happened was all in the actor's kind of like imagination, or that we're that it wasn't really there. The female was not actually there the entire time. I also liked how uh, I shot him picking up his phone and staring at his picture, the female actor. Um, One thing hindsight looking, I wish I would have paid attention and probably like reviewed my footage, because I zoomed in to it, but after going to post editing, I realized that it didn't zoom in enough. Um, so I had to do a digital zoom in, which you probably can tell. So I really wish I learned another lesson there, as make sure I review my footage before calling it good to go. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this director's commentary, and I look forward to my next project, and I hope you will too. All right, thank you.